In 2008, when the great financial crisis began, a cabal of global central bankers told the world, temporary one-off emergency measures are necessary to save capitalism and we will never repeat these measures. Now, 13 years later, the coordinated central bank's temporary emergency measures are larger and have continued. Money printing from modern central banks, aka modern monetary theory, has destroyed the price discovery mechanisms in markets. Despite this, the US Senate's Finance Committee head, Bernie Sanders, has embraced these insane policies. The central bankers over here, directed by government policymakers, have bailed out billionaires, not the high street. Look at your own high street. Small businesses and mum and dad shops are gone. Once again, after printing 100s of trillions of pounds and dollars, these same central bankers assure us inflation is transitory. Is this similar to temporary one-off emergency measures? On many of Britain's radio stations, we are frequently told of how new wealth may be created by investing in new financial products. All of the adverts end with this cautionary phrase, "Your capital is at risk," when the share, property, fixed income, and credit markets reach a point of exhaustion. They bubble to extreme valuations. Today, we are at that breaking point, living on borrowed time in a fantasy world, detached from reality with ludicrous valuations. During the irrational exuberance of bubbles, the retail investors are always the last to dive into markets as they peak while institutions and executives are dumping shares. Frightened? You should be. Here's why. In times of extreme economic uncertainty, most people go for the wow stories or the shiny object being dangled in front of their noses. Everyone is getting rich from investing in the markets. We are missing out. Quick buy, buy, buy. The acronym for this market mania is FOMO, the fear of missing out, and it signals a market extreme. But it is different this time. Why? Because of inflation. Global food and commodity prices are exploding. Shipping rates have skyrocketed nearly 1,400% since 2016, as seen in the Baltic Dry Index. Since last November, oil prices have increased 100%. And of course gas is going through the roof. Over the decades, governments have outsourced most manufacturing to China, making China the world's biggest manufacturer for the 11th straight year. In March 2020, I warned that COVID-19 would decimate supply chains and how the West's over-reliance on China for critical infrastructure and medical supplies would cause massive shortages. Today, global supply chains are broken. Crippling inflation has arrived, and the value of fiat currencies will collapse further as governments print more to inflate out of their debt. Bond defaults on some of the over $11 trillion in corporate debt and bankruptcies will spark a liquidity crisis, resulting in a domino effect causing history's most severe economic depression. Millions of employees at leveraged zombie corporations sustained by these negative interest rate policies will become unemployed. At the same time, those in the executive suite will have made billions from cannibalizing future profits with Ponzified share buyback schemes. We must all be suffering from Stockholm Syndrome for falling for the same lies from leaders time and time again. China's Evergrande is the tip of the iceberg. A major crash is coming, creating a massive opportunity for a few, a disaster for most, and higher taxes for everyone.